Good morning, boys and girls. Welcome once again to the mess hall here at Dr. Jet Laboratories. In my hands, I have what is right now the last remaining 1/20th scale Atlas short kit, laser cut plywood. I just pulled the trigger. I bought enough plywood to make a couple dozen more kits. And based on prior experience, I'm going to make a few more of the Atlas kits as compared to the short circuit kits. And I've done some revisions on this. I've added a bunch of nut plates that you can use on other projects. A couple of extra servo mounts and some extra, I filled up the wood where I could, to give you some more parts you can play with later on down the line. Anyhow, time for jet juice. I've pulled the trigger and we're going to do a new Dr. Jet challenge. Remember, my last challenge was a 12-inch boat, mostly wood, with a specific motor, and a lot of guys came up with something. Big B came up with his little microclad, and he's still running that thing today. So that was a fun project. I personally really like the idea of 1/20th scale racing. The boats are small. They're cheap, they're easy to transport. You can use small motors and small speed controls and small batteries, and you just don't have to spend a fortune. And these things can be made to go really, really fast. Who knows, I might build one and do a speed demon. The other two I built strictly for looks. They were going to be my presentation items when somebody says, what does the finished boat look like? And if you go back in some of my videos, you'll see them. And of course, now I've had a little more time to work things out. For example, on the new models, I've moved this hole that carries the rudder linkage. I've moved it over a little bit, and I've massaged things just to make it a little easier. And I've run the numbers. Let me tell you something. Wood is expensive. Shipping is expensive. Laser cutting, prices have gone up. I can produce this sheet right here and get it in the mail for $75. It seems like a lot of money, but there's a lot of work in here cutting this stuff out and so forth. Of course, you'll have to supply all the other parts for it, and I give you a list. And it also gives you some options for power. My original plans on this included a 1/32 wire drive, which worked fine with the lower power systems I was using. Big B had to throw more power in it, and that little drive line couldn't hold up to it. So I've modified it so that you can use the Octura 98 thousandths cable, or there's also a 2.2 millimeter cable available from Asia, and I'm going to use that in some upcoming builds, and I'll show that to you. But that's probably the best alternative for this. It's the smallest cable drive you can get, and it's still cheap. Turns a 1/8 inch prop shaft, so it'll work with the strut and such in here. So that's the challenge. Who can build the coolest 1/20th scale hydroplane? And you can either use this pickle fork design, which will make a number of hulls. It'll do the Pay and Pack Winged Wonder. It'll do some of the Squire Shop boats. it'll do a number of hauls. And then the other one will do a number of hauls from the late 1950s through early 60s. Boats like the Hawaii Kai and, oh God, I think it'll do Maverick and just a bunch of boats. It'll do Short Circuit. It'll do Miss Detroit. Just a whole bunch of hauls. The prizes for the challenge. The first place prize will be a brand new in-box, new old stock Aquacraft Mini Wildcat. And that's the plastic hull with 2 Speed 400 motors in it. It's a cool little boat. And you can easily upgrade it, but that's going to be first place prize. And I'll have to look around the Stinkbug Works to see what I can make for other prizes. I might make a jet. I have enough motors to do maybe 3 or 4 jet steppers. Finding a motor for that thing's been a challenge. And the motor I found, of course, they're no longer making that version of it, of course. So anyway, I might have some jet stepper kits as prizes as well. So, we'll just see what happens. So anyway, there you go, boys and girls. I have pulled the trigger. I have a price at $75. It's $65 for the kit. It's another $10 to ship it. To ship it to Europe, it'll be $50. And what I've done is in the new kits, I've put a line through here where I can break the sheet in half. I'll take these main stringers out, tape them on the inside of a 15 by 19 envelope, and this will fit in the envelope, and I can mail it as a flat rate. And so $50 to Europe, $10 to just about any place in the greater USA. There you go, boys and girls. Until next time, jet out.